Waiting on it to record. Hold on. All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Dakota Burford here, coming at you live from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, with another invaluable YouTube video. Today, we got a special treat. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Antwan Webb joining us today. How are you, Ant?
I'm doing better than most. I'm on top of the world today.
Good for you, brother. So my whole goal with today's interview is clearly me and you've been rocking together for years. And for the people that don't know who Antwan is, I mean, he's the president of Luxvoni. He runs the day-to-day operations. Me and Antwan met probably 3-4 years ago when he flew in to visit Mr. Brad Lee, old Tad for Brad. And we linked up. He came over to the house. We had dinner. I think it was like, what, Super Bowl Sunday or something?
Yeah, it was.
We had a blast, man. We had like 15, 20 people over. It was a good time. And me and Antwan just synced, man. It was just instant energy, instant connection between us. And shit, since then, we've been rocking together for the last 3 years. And he's actually helped me build Luxvoni. He runs all the sales, runs the operations for the company as far as the sales teams goes. And what I want to talk about today, dude, is let's give these people a little bit of background on you, where you come from, how you do it. And then we can talk about how you earn $50,000 to $60,000 a month as a high ticket closer. And let's take some of these sales professionals behind the scenes and show them how easy it is to do what you do.
It's not rocket science. It's damn good psychology, but it ain't rocket science. I'll take you guys through a little bit about me and where I come from, what I do, kind of how I got going. But I'll tell you the first memory when I know that me and Dakota hit it off. For a matter of fact, without a shadow of a doubt, at this moment, I was like, this dude is good in my book. I like this MFer. I don't know how, but somewhere in the future, I know I'll link up with this dude, and he's fucking good. Whole party going on. I'm telling you, 30 people there, Super Bowl Sunday, people running from one end of the house to the other. And you got a nice little sectioned off formal dining room area, and it's kind of like off to the cut. And I seen him over there, and I go sit down, and me and him over there were sitting down for a second, and me and you were having a conversation, and I'm watching everybody just scatter around and yelling and shit. I mean, you just real calm in the corner, just watching everything. And we start to talking about different branding, different marketing stuff, different things that were going on at the time. And I'm like, yo, Dakota, you ever got on video, bro? You're like, nah, not really like that. I said, bro, you would crush it on video. And at the time, I was doing a couple different things with a video course. And we'll get into that. I'll bring you guys from the start to the finish, how I doing some things up and made some shake and bacon. And then it all led to Mr. Burford here. And we took it off from there. But sitting there having that conversation with you at that table, man, I knew that day, this dude is a good dude. This dude's like, he understands shit how I do. And we just got to chopping it up, and we're talking about different angles and we were talking business there, and we didn't really even know each other that much. I knew you did marketing. You knew I did a couple other things. And we're just sitting there, literally just slid into the business conversation at a party, shit going on. Dude, it's your house. You're the host. Motherfuckers running everywhere. I mean, you're sitting there at the damn table chopping up business. It ain't nothing ever changed since. Doing the
same thing, just making a lot more money now.
Making a lot more money now. So I'll open up my chest to you guys. Let's bring you into my world. And maybe some of you guys can relate to where I come from, some of the crazy ass shit that I've been through and the homegrown roots that I come from. So my background's in contracting. So my family business, they own a big roofing company here in New Jersey, doing business over 4 different states. And I got my start by being lazy. And I'm going to tell you how being lazy led me into the best damn thing that I could ever dreamed of. And it goes back, there's a saying I always say, and I keep this in mind with our team also, and I leverage it with them psychologically. If you want something done the simplest way it could possibly be done, I'm not saying give your complex problems to lazy people. You need something done very, very simply, and it's a slightly minute task. Maybe you feel like there's a couple different steps in there that shouldn't be. Find your laziest employee, make them do that task. That employee will figure out how to do the task better and save themselves more time. So it's not always bad to be lazy. It's okay to be lazy if you don't feel like you're putting your own time into something that isn't giving you the reward that you want. So by being lazy, quote unquote, because I'm going to get to this in a minute, because I was always quoted the lazy one. So just for you guys out there who are the black sheep of the family, that's me. And I'll wear that on my chest all day because I like to go against the grain on all kinds of things. So I wasn't the one to be following rules. So they always called me the black sheep in my family because I always went against the grain. So my step pops, who owns the company, is like a drill sergeant, right? So runs his business with an iron fist. And growing up, I was raised the same way, kind of old. And my mom's Italian. I'm half black, half Italian. My stepdad's Italian. My mom's Italian. I was raised in that, mob mentality, like loyalty or die. You're here. You're gonna put it all in, or there's no space for you. So when it came to work and going to work in the family business, yes, big company, still ran with those morals and guidelines that are very rigid. So there was no freebies. There was no handouts. I was family and I had it worse than people who were just coming off the street. I had to do twice, 3 times as much, even, and you're not getting a good job, buddy. You're getting you did your job. Right. That's what you're here for. So 14, 15 years old, if I wasn't in football practice, 16 years old, if I wasn't at football practice, I was at work in the summers, ripping roofs, ripping concrete sidewalks, cleaning gutters, setting up ladders. I look back now and I'm like, that shit was dangerous.
Right.
You could have died. You had one slip. You're up there on somebody's roof. Once, you want to have your harnesses on, everything, you do your thing, but even the bottom of the ladder could kick out, So there's 1,000,001 things that could go wrong. So I didn't like doing that shit, period. I didn't like breaking concrete. And I was a big dude too, like football, like middle linebacker, outside linebacker, running back. I had muscle, but did I like being out there in 150-degree heat? Hell no. So what did I do? I found a way out. Well, what was my way out? Well, if you don't want to do the work, then you got to sell the work. So if you don't want to be there doing it, you better figure out a way to bring the company in money. So then I'm not covering you in payroll because then you're going to be working. Right. So I said, 16 years old, 17 years old, I had got my car. I was delivering pizzas and working construction on the weekends, right? Because delivering pizzas, I can go to school and then have a little bit of time afterwards, go in the pizzeria, deliver my pizzas, blah, 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 and then go to work on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, Saturday, Sunday, if there was work on Sunday, mainly Saturday, I guess you can call it, right? So I would go in every Saturday, and that's how I would start to make my car payment. But when I would go in, 17 years old, I said, okay, well, while everyone's doing the work, I'm going to do some of the work, but then I'm going to grab some flyers too, and I'm going to scoot out for an hour every job, and I'm going to go hit the houses with flyers. And my step-pops, he always preached that too. So if you're waiting somewhere, you better hit the whole neighborhood with flyers. So I took that to my advantage and said, all right, well, no, listen, I'm going to do flyers for an hour. I'll be back. Catch me 6 blocks over at the deli, getting a sandwich. Everybody, But what happens is this. Someone's outside. Hey, how you doing, miss? I noticed, you don't have a chimney cap on your chimney. We're doing some work down the street. Would you be open to having an estimate, having us come by, take a look at it? Animals can get in there, and when rain gets in there, it gets all bad inside. So if you haven't had it looked at, you should have it looked at.
Right.
Simple little something. And it could be anything. It'd be a gutter, anything on the outside of the house. And I would say that. And then what would happen? I'm a nice young kid. I'm okay. I'm out there, they respect the hustle, and sure, no problem, kid. And then I'd go get whoever's selling the jobs, go back. Hey, listen, I was doing flyers, and Miss, Ann over here at 124 says, come take a look. And then we go over there after we're done with the job and knock on the door. And then I would listen, and I would sit there and I'd listen to the salesperson that was closing the deals. And after a while doing that, I was like, I need to start selling stuff. Like these guys are making money. And now I'm like, 20 years old, 21 years old. And I start selling. I know chimneys, I know liners, I know boilers, I know, how to clean them, how to service them. I understand gutters. I can look at your foundation. I see the sides of your house is busted up. I can talk to you about anything on the house, and we can repair it for you. So now I'm 21 years old. I get a new car. I'm out of high school, going into college. And I remember I had a certain girlfriend at the time, and she was moving out of her house. My parents, they had a big place in a nice town. I ain't going to say where it's at, but they did renovation to the house, and they were doing it all over. And that was like a 6-month renovation, went up over the garage, all this stuff. So I found myself, now I can sell. Great. I'm in college, going to a couple classes. I'm making a little bit of money. The house, I don't really have a bedroom right now. My parents moved to one of their properties that they own in another town and kind of hang out at that house until this house is done. There's not really room for all of us there. And I said, you know what? I'm out of here. I need my own apartment. After a couple months of just going from this house to my uncle's house, sleeping on the couch there, going to the girlfriend's house and bouncing all over the place, I'm like, I'm not going back home to live with mommy and daddy. I'm damn near 22 now. So now what happens? Now I'm selling. I'm bouncing around a bit. I'm ready to find my apartment. I don't care what anybody says. My parents are, you're nuts. You're crazy. You're not doing it. Go back to the house. Go back to a mansion that we just built. I say no. I'm not doing it. Why? Because I'm having too much fun out here on my own. I got to go back to, the Iron Fist. I ain't doing it.
Right.
Spirit. I need to be, I don't want to be told, oh, or you home this time, or did you do this, or did you do that? Are you on time? I don't want all that. Let me be me, and that's it. So I start going around looking for apartments, and my step-pop, he owns a couple apartments, but I don't go to him first. I go right to Craigslist. I forget. I was doing something, whatever. It was definitely some weird, janky something. And I set up like 2 appointments, 22 years old, running around, setting up apartment appointments. My parents are stressed out about me. Like, what the hell are you doing? And so I locked down this apartment, and then, they're like, hey, listen, I'm like, yeah, I'm about to, give X amount of money for the deposit and everything like that. See you later. That's where I'm going to be. They say, hold the brakes, pump the brakes. They snatch me up. They throw me in one of their apartments. They make me pay rent. And for the next 4 years, I focused. And what I did was I went from working and organizing 2 men in my truck, going out to dispatch calls every day. People will call in for a roof leak, this and that. I go out there, how you doing? Jump up on the roof, do what I need to do for a proper inspection, and give them an estimate, $1,000, $2,500, whatever it was. So it's nice. It's high ticket pricing, but it wasn't too much. I'm not saying you need $20,000. I got really good at selling $1,000 to $3,500. I got really good at that. Each product I sold the same way. And now when you start to fast forward all the things, Dakota, that we got coming out and that you put together with Psychology Secrets, the Art of Human Hacking, and all of that, there's small pieces of that I was implementing there that was able to make the whole thing work with someone who's novice, doesn't know what the hell they're doing. But if you understand just a little bit of human psychology and how people assimilate with you and connect with you, build rapport with you, you can do so much with so little. And that's what I was doing.
Right.
So fast forward a little bit, I started to get my feet wet, and I found out the other side of the business, which was account work. Now, this is something totally different than going person to person and just selling the solution to this person's problem.
This is enterprise, right?
And this is, so now this is big business. And there's a couple things I'm gonna leave out for certain reasons, but it's not going to be anything too pertinent. I'm not going to tell you the type of businesses we went after, but the businesses that we went after are publicly traded on the stock company. So what we decided to do was, there was another two guys that were out there prospecting and figuring out, testing the waters in these spaces. Now, I'm mid-20s. I'm piss and vinegar. I'm all dialed up to the button. I'm ready. I start going on these different meetings with these guys, and I sit in the meeting. Now, both times when I was learning, I was in the room. I was right there when these people were closing. When I was very young, right there next to the salesperson by the fence. Maybe I'm not looking away, but my ear is right there. So I'm ear hustling, learning all of these things and doing it by being and trying my best to position myself to see it happen. Because if I could see it happen, if I could see what they're doing, I could do the same thing. But if I don't know what they're doing, then there's no way I'm going to be able to learn and pick up on these different things.
Right.
So put my little button-down shirt on, whatnot. And if you're from the contracting industry, button-down shirts, man. We going polo till we die. So we don't put on button-down shirts. It's blue collar. We're getting dirty. So going into these different meetings is a whole different world, whole different pitch, whole different ball game. You got to present yourself as the best of the best in the industry, bar none. I'm a young kid, and I know the business through and through. You can put me on stage at conventions, and we've been to different conventions, and I've spoken on stage on behalf of the company, and etc. So this is what happens. I start going into these rooms. I'm sitting with different board members of these companies, and I'm sitting with the guys who are representing my company. And these are close family people. They're not strangers. You know what I'm saying? I know these people. It's not like it's another employee. No, people that are close with the family and understand the business. These are the people that are going into these deals. So I'm sitting there, and I got my learning glass on. And of course, what do they do to me? They know I'm new. It's my first time at the meeting. The two guys from my company are talking, etc., explaining some different things, kind of going over some logistics and whatnot. And then they call me out. And we got Antwan over here, blah, 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 blah. And they, in front of a room full of 30 guys, they call me out, tell me, come up here and to start explaining the importance of a particular product and why that product should matter to that particular company, because what they're doing and what they're servicing with the product can allow the company to increase the revenue by a particular percent. I'm 20-something years old, and they pull me up there right then and there on the spot, my first day at the meeting, to come and pitch these guys. Talk about learning how to swim by just getting thrown in the pool. That's how I learned how to swim.
You're a pro at that.
That's how I learned how to swim too. So, so what ended up happening? What ended up happening was I got so good at doing those pitches and doing those explanations, because they're not even pitches. It's safety explanation of why this particular thing is so important. So I got so good at that I was able to create multi-million-dollar deals for my company going forward, multiple of them. And then me and a small group of people managed that and oversaw that. And so at a particular point, it came to be that there was no way that I was ever going to get out of the shadow of my stepfather in the business. And that's the plain truth. So what I needed to do was, I have these set of skill sets that I love. I love speaking. I love presenting. I love talking about things that are going to be able to help people. I love talking about different products and how they interact in particular spaces and the analysis behind that. That's what I like. So how am I going to make that my own in something that is my own? So, and now I'm bringing you guys to my whole life story. So bear with me here. You're going to go through 2 legs, and then we're going to get Mr. Dakota in here. We're going to talk about some real fun stuff. So fast forward you up a little bit. I get into real estate. Now, I had a couple, obviously, my family's in real estate also, owning different commercial properties and etc. And of course, multifamily homes. So I've always grown up in it. I never knew what the hell was going on. I wasn't from a teaching family. I was from a look and do, and if you don't, you're a dumbass and don't come back family. So you're not getting any, this is step 1, this is step 2. No, pay attention, you dummy. Else you're going to fall on your face. So I went and took my real estate exam, passed it on the first time. I'm not saying, I know people take a lot of time to pass it, but I passed it on my first time because I care about the things that I do, and I bust my ass and I did well. Passed it on my first time, got into real estate, and quickly found out that I didn't want to sell houses. I wanted to teach people about selling houses. So what did I do? I was in real estate for all about 3 months. 3 months. And what I found in that 3 months was, in order to market the business, I had to go to networking events. I had to figure out local flyers and mailers. I had to put money into my business. I had to genuinely connect with people and put myself out there. So I said, okay, well, how could I do all of that and angle myself? Because when you're at these networking events, you're with a ton of realtors, you're with mortgage brokers, everyone works together, which is a good thing. But you're not in a room of people that you can charge money to. So that's a problem.
Right.
And I'm going into these networking events and these meetings with all of these individuals who are business owners, and I don't have shit to sell them. And I'm looking at the situation like, well, if I had something to personally sell everyone in this room, I can make a lot of fucking money fast because they all like me. I put myself out on social media. I don't have a problem with that. They see my videos. When I come to the networking event, it's like someone showed up to the club. And of course, I owned a record label, did a whole bunch of, underground DJ stuff in New York City and that whole thing. So I'm no stranger to promotion in the traditional sense of putting yourself out there. But in this realm, I needed to figure out a way to separate myself from all these individuals, be different as a realtor, and also have something to sell everyone that ever wanted to be or do something similar to what I was doing. I created a course called the CCRP, I think the name of it was. I don't even remember the freaking name of it now. Content creation, repurposing program.
I remember the course.
So what I did was, from being in nightlife a little bit, being out in the club scene a little bit, and understanding the small fundamentals of what's needed to put yourself out there and market yourself, I put together a course where a realtor, or really anyone in business, can sit down, take this course, take their cell phone, download a suite of apps, and use the suite of apps to create on-the-go digital content of themselves, for themselves, their personal brand, and their business. And of course, it was all things like posting schedules, different types of psychology behind using social media, using Facebook, using Instagram, using YouTube, using Twitter, and these different channels for different types of content. How to take one piece of content, do it once, chop that content up into multiple different avenues, and then have more than one piece of content to post on your social medias based on one piece of content. And really just making your time much more effective, and in turn actually having a tangible piece of something that you can promote your business with, no matter whatever the business is. So a lot of my friends in real estate, not that they're broke, but they're broke. And they're broke in a sense that they don't want to spend a shit ton of money on marketing the business. And that's just the facts. And in order to scale, of course, there's certain different things that you need to do. So one of those things for a new agent and anyone new in business is getting content out there for people to understand who the hell you are, why you do what you do, how you do what you do, and what the hell it is a little bit that you do, so that they want to talk to you about it. So I said, okay, I'm going to price, I don't know, we'll get to that. I didn't even price the course yet. I had this course and I had friends that were mortgage originators. So before I went and sold this individually, I said, well, I'm not going to go and sell door to door off the bat. I'm going to go for accounts. So I said, okay, what type of business would want to leverage this type of curriculum, and who's already giving education? The course was built because I saw the problems in real estate, which the problems are people aren't comfortable putting themselves behind the camera. People don't know how to make multiple pieces of content. People don't even know the beginning of how to edit content. So if you can solve those problems, along with who's the number one person that realtors keep looking to for help with their marketing, is the mortgage origination companies. The mortgage originators are paying for these realtors' marketing. Why? Because they're getting all the loans. So what do I do naturally? Naturally, I line up 6 of my friends that are mortgage companies and mortgage brokers, and they each are working with companies. And what do? They have different real estate companies that they go into every week to show face and to shake hands and kiss babies, so that they can be top of mind and relevant to the realtors when they're closing a deal. Because this is the mortgage guy who's always in my office.
Right.
And that's how they're getting business. So I said, hey, organic. So I go in there and I say, hey, how would you feel if after every meeting that you have, a realtor had a physical piece of tangible something that they could leave that meeting with, that they would be able to promote their business with and close more deals with because of you? And if that realtor can increase their business and their visibility by doing these things that you're coming in to teach them every week, and they're closing one more deal a month because of it, how much is that worth to you? Oh, well, that would be, I'm making like 15 grand off a deal.
Right.
So would you say it'd be worth $3,000 a month if you knew for a fact that you'd get that 15,000? Well, hell yeah. So, okay. So why don't I go in and teach 3 classes a month for you at $850 a class? These realtors are going to leave with hard, concrete content, apps they're going to know how to use. They're going to have a digital media company in their pocket 24/7, and it's coming from you guys. There's no way that you guys don't get the business.
Right.
They're using these things every day.
How many classes did you end up doing?
I had 8 companies doing 4 classes a day for an hour each. So I worked 4 hours a day. I was charging anywhere between $800 and $1,600 per class.
So you were doing well.
Doing awesome. Awesome. Honestly, it was the first time in my life that I started making real money where I was like, whoa,
Right.
whoa, like I'm making money.
Yeah.
Like, and I was making okay money in my family business, but I was capped. There was only
you were only working half a day. You were getting to do whatever you wanted after that. And then after that starts popping. What happens next?
So that starts popping, and I'm scrolling one day, and I'm on social media. I don't know, it's maybe a year after I get back from Vegas, a year after I meet you for the first time. I always stayed up on your, I remember I set you on your Facebook. You can do, I don't know if it's still there anymore, but there's a friend setting that you can put that particular person on notification on your profile so that you can always interact. You know, as soon as it's like a button to override the algorithm. So I like this person a lot. I want to see their stuff first. And the see first button. You remember that fucking button?
Yeah,
I don't think you have
it.
Yeah, so the see first. I put your ass on my see first list. So when I after I had met you and I was like, yeah, like this dude is doing things. This dude knows what he's like. He's going there. Like I know he's going there. I put your ass on the see first. So every time you posted, I would always see it. So I always liked your stuff here and there. And then I remember reaching out to you one day. I had these things going on. I got this course. I said, and you posted something. And I said, damn, I got to read Dakota, bro, because I know how to do this, but like there's so much more. Like if I just knew how to market, if I just knew something about how to put this course out there in a real way, then holy shit, like make money with this. So right. I reached out to Dakota. I messaged you. Yo, hey Dakota, what's up, man? Been a while. Hope all's good. I got this. I've been doing this thing with this course, dude. I want to know if can you take a look at it? I think I said, could you, would you mind just putting your eyes on it and give me a little direction on it? And you were like, yeah, sure, man. Let's schedule the call. So we schedule the call. Dakota gets on the call, and I think you had a team of 30 at the time. You had a couple different things going on. And I'm like, Dakota, this is my course, man. This is what I'm teaching people how to do. I'm going into these real estate offices. I'm teaching this. I'm doing these apps. How the hell can I scale this thing, man? And he's like, I remember you spent like 2 hours with me, and you mapped the whole thing out with me. And you're like, Ant, if you want to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, and you're going to have to progress it like this and like this. And then it's going to make sense for people to do it for you.
Right.
And then right before you got off the call, it goes, hey, by the way, I got a little team. You want to talk with them? If you get on, I'll put you on a call with them. Whatever they decide to do, it's on them. But, I think this is pretty good, and I think that they could use it.
Right.
And I said, well, hell yeah, dude. Thank you. Fucking get me on the call, man.
Right.
So get on the call. It's got like a Google Meet call. It's got a shit ton. I didn't even know what Google Meet really was about at that time. He gets on, get on there. I'm all nervous and shit. Got my suit jacket on and shit. I'm getting ready, He's got damn near 30 motherfuckers on the damn call. And he's like, well, listen, guys, I want to meet you. This is my man, Antwan Webb. Listen, he does a couple different things here you guys might be interested in, dude. I'm going to let you guys, take it up with Antwan, but he's here to help you. And he's doing these couple different things, putting himself out there, and you guys might be able to leverage it too. So I get on there, and I do my whole spiel. I bring him through the whole course, and I have the course set up in Google Drive even. So I'm going through the Google Drives, and I'm saying, "Are you gonna learn this? And you're gonna learn this and everything?" And damn near, wouldn't you know, more than half the fucking guys signed up for the course, and they started using it.
Yeah.
So we get done with the call. Everything's good. I call up Dakota and I say, hey, man, what'd you think about it? Was it good? Did you like it? And he's like, yeah, it was good, man. Like, they're into it. Like, it's good stuff. He's like, I didn't even know half this stuff. I wasn't even thinking about it. And he goes, well, by the way, man, we do sales funnels, bro. So if you know anybody that you need sales funnels, anyone that needs some marketing, don't be shy. Like, we're here for you. Don't be shy. So I said, all right, man, no worries. Don't, cool. And, I'm sure he got off the phone. He didn't think nothing of it.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't.
So now coming from my perspective, right? And Dakota, you've been doing some things for a while, man. So, like I was looking up to you when I met you. So now I'm like, all right, fucking, he's told me I have to sell sales funnels. Well, what the hell is sales funnels really? I didn't know 100%, but I knew enough. I knew the base level. It's marketing. It's like a website. If someone needs a website, they can use this. Okay. And I did a little bit of research. I found out a little bit what a sales funnel was, not a whole lot. So I'll go out there that week. Mind you, I'm no stranger to putting myself out there on social. I'm a keyboard warrior.
Right.
Pause. So I go to battle on my friends list. So I said, I know a couple of these dudes that are doing some good things. There's no way that they couldn't leverage having someone who knows how to get people out there, how to build your brand, how to build your front end structure so that you're going to be successful in whatever business or product it is. So when I went and I said, all right, well, this shit's industry agnostic. So as long as they've got something decent, they're making some money, like to invest, they should be good.
Right.
Well, lo and behold, I go out, I do a little bit of sniffing around. I come back 5-6 leads. Dakota gets on the call. All 5 of them close. I make like 30 grand the first week. Dakota calls me and says, how the fuck did you do that?
And needless to say, I had 30 people at the time that I was training every day that were sitting on my calls with them because I had to duplicate myself because I was the only one that could close these things because it was so sophisticated. So we had this big team. I'm dumping all these resources, all this money into this SDR team to basically feed closers. And then Antwan comes out, doesn't say anything, doesn't remind me. And I just start seeing Calendly calls getting booked. Reference Antwan Webb. And then I start looking up the people and I'm like, this dude did 90 million. This dude did 50 million. This dude did 10 million. This dude did this. This dude did that. And I was like, what the hell? So we get on these calls and Antwan jumps on the calls. He does this quick little intro and then I take over the call. And we go into these things and we just dial these presentations in. And like the first hit, all of them closed. And I was like, what? So then me and Antwan start working together, and I'm like, listen, let's do some more of this because this is working and it's doing really well. And just like you mentioned, back in the day, you used to mirror, you used to listen, you used to pick up stuff, and then you just mirrored what worked. That was the biggest thing with Antwan. He didn't care. He didn't say, oh, let me do it my own way. He said, I've watched Dakota close 100K in basically a couple of weeks. That works. I'm going to go do what Dakota does. While the other sales team, I got to make it mine. I got to do it this way. I got to be a connector and build a relationship. And then Antwan took that shit and just boom, boom, boom. And then we just started moving on to where what happened? Like we were together doing those calls for like 6 months.
Yep. So we're doing those calls for like 6 months. And I remember I'd sit on every call. I wasn't taking any of the calls. And literally for 6 months, I sat on every call. And when I think about the time that, it takes to put into that, meanwhile, of course, what was really nice was that first hit because it allowed me to have a little bit of nut to then say, okay, you know what? Well, this was possible in this short amount of time. I've already did something with my course that I know I see the money. I know money's real to me now. Like
right.
When money's not real to you yet, it's harder to overcome your self-limiting beliefs because you never felt that money before. You never looked in your account and seen those numbers. Right. So you got to really believe it before you see it, and you got to put that work in and just know without a shadow of a doubt that it'll be there. But for people who haven't yet touched the money, I understand how difficult it is to be in that spot mentally. But take it from me, you keep your head down and you keep working at what you like to do, the money will come no matter what. You won't know what the hell to do with it. So taking that time and investing into myself by sitting on calls with Dakota, number one, because he's the best closer I have ever seen. And I've been around good closers. I've been part of building businesses. I understand the fundamentals. I come from a house of closers. You want to talk about, manipulative, narcissistic, fucking mind benders. I have been through the mental war. So right. When I came and I was able to sit down on your calls and I was watching another way to do it that was a step above that. It was more sophisticated, more philosophically driven, more psychologically driven. And it was a cleaner, easier process with a product that I didn't have to go on a 30-foot roof. I didn't have to leave my house when it was cold out, when it was wet out. It was like the mailman, rain, sleet, hail, or snow. You're showing up to work, and guess what? While everybody's off, doing whatever, you should be out there shoveling snow to make money or plowing. And so there's no days off in the world that I come from, hard-nosed, blue collar. So when I came across this and what this whole world did was allow me to take my salesmanship, what I had learned out there digging the streets, and fulfill the piece of, oh, by the way, dropped out of college. Okay, sorry, left that part out. 23 and said, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to do college anymore. I'm going to work full time and I'm out of the house. And of course, I never looked back since. But what getting into sales funnels and sitting on your calls allowed me to do was essentially completely pivot and transition into a business model that not only caters to me, mentally, physically, emotionally, much more at a higher level, at a higher degree than any other business that I've personally been in. But it also allowed me to take the fruits of my labor and then instill it into something and work in a way that is in alignment with how I want to live my life, right? Yeah. Shit, I don't want to be out there. I want to be home in my house, in my castle. Why the hell are you people building these multi-million-dollar properties, and then you got to leave for 90% of the day. I don't want that. I want to be able to live there. So sat on your calls for about 6 months. And then I remember you said to me one day, it was something, I think you were running late for one of the meetings or something happened. And you were like, yo, Antwan, I can't make this meeting. Like, I need you to jump on there. And the meeting I remember was a big deal meeting. It wasn't like a little stupid meeting.
They were making some real money.
Yeah. So I get on that meeting, I get on that call. I do everything the same way like I've been seeing. And I closed a $30,000 deal my first time on the calls.
Yeah. I remember.
Why? Because I sat there for 6 months and I learned what I needed to do in order to replicate what I was seeing.
And your commission on that was $8,000 in 1 hour.
In an hour. And then pretty much I proved myself. And now if I wouldn't have did that deal, if I wouldn't have been up to the task to jump in that seat, you would never have the opportunity. Right. And I would be here today with you guys talking about all the things that, we were able to accomplish. But why I was able to accomplish it? Because I wasn't afraid. I was scared shitless, but I wasn't afraid to get put into that situation every time when it was uncomfortable for me, whether it was by decision or thrust upon me, because life happens for you, never to you. So getting in that first conversation, that first deal, after that, I had ultimate confidence in myself.
Yeah.
You can do it once, you can do it again.
You can see it. First time could be luck. Second time, it's skill. After you did the second one, your ego shot up, your confidence shot up, and then you ran the calls the same way I did. Real cocky, real arrogant. Here's the deal. This is what's going to happen. We're not here to perform for a prize. You're here to perform for us, and we're going to see if we're fit. And you took that and you ran. And it was crazy because I used to wake up, and before, if I wasn't on the phones, I wasn't making there was no deals. There was no revenue. I was the only one that could close. So at the time, we were doing super well. And I had like $60,000 a month in retainers that kept me afloat. But I was so sick of it. And then I remember the first time when you started getting momentum, I'm doing something completely different, building the webinar at the time. Like I took 8 months off and was building the webinar every single freaking day. And people look at the webinar and they say, how'd you do it? It's 260 hours, 4 months of my life doing nothing else but that. The only reason that I was able to do that was because every single day Antwan would wake up and I would look at notifications and see 10 grand process, 10 grand process, 25 process, 45 process. He just started running. And I think if you're a leader and you're a sales professional now, and you don't have a leader in place that is willing to get in and do the work themselves to show you how to actually do it, you're not working with a leader. And that's what me and Antwan, we both relate to that and stand by that. We're not going to tell somebody and give a quota that we can't do ourselves. We're going to go produce, and then we're going to cut it in half and make that the average quota because we can close at 50% typically. And that's what I liked about you. You did that. You scaled that, and you took that mentality, and you were a real leader. You built culture. We scaled the team. And then we launched the webinar, and then boom, now we're bombarded with appointments. We're doing all these big deals with some of the biggest names in the game. And I think the rest is history from there. It just started popping and popping and popping. And then over time, I'll be honest, like, I'm good at closing sophisticated high-level deals with like high-status people. So if you got somebody that's got a $50 million a year company or a $100 million a year company, those are the deals that I'm good at. My success rate's very high there. The deals that I'm not good at is average folks, unfortunately. And the reason why is maybe I don't relate with them. Maybe I don't understand. I don't get it. Success is very easy in my opinion. I don't relate with them. So that's like 60% of the business. So Antwan came in and filled a void that I couldn't fill. because I'd get so frustrated. And then he turned it into a $200,000-$300,000 a month revenue stream because he could focus on those deals. And the rest is history.
100%. I remember, with our firm here, and if you look at our branding, you look at our funnels, our sites and whatnot, you're going to see that we cater undoubtedly to the 1%. We are 100%, Luxvoni. Lux is in the name. This is a luxury brand. This is a top 1%. This is an exclusive elite club that if you're not in it, you're out. And if you're out, you're not getting in. So we're able to, take our branding, take the psychology that we have behind our business, and then prize ourselves in the marketplace based on our accomplishments. And luckily enough for us, we have those accomplishments to stand on because we put that time in. However, now, you'll have people who will disqualify themselves before they ever even come to us. They might come and land on our stuff, go through the web class, see the production that we put into ourselves and our business, and then say, you know what? I probably can't afford them. Now, they may be right. They may be wrong.
Right.
Either way, the branding and who your top clientele is, our ideal client is someone doing multiple $1 million a year looking to break the freaking scales and scale their business to the moon and have those funds to invest into it. Is that going to be 90% of the clientele? No.
No, it was.
At that time, I saw you closing these high-level clients, but of course, the people who weren't a fit.
And I would just cancel them. I would look at the damn application, and as soon as somebody came in that did not have enough revenue, cancel. And Antwan's like, quit canceling them. Let me get on the call. And I'd say, bro, they're not qualified. And he said, oh, they're qualified. They're just not qualified for this. They're qualified for something. And then you just shifted and changed because at the time we were selling what? Big webinars.
Big ones. Yeah.
Like 6-month projects, 20 to 50 grand up front. We take 10% of top line revenue. And it was a fucking nightmare. But we were successful with it. And then you on your own said, screw it. They all need a funnel. And then you just started closing them.
And so I'm sitting there, and like you said, I see these calls getting off the schedule, and I'm like, Dakota, I need to just stop. Just every call that's not qualified, I'm gonna get on, and I'm gonna close for something. And I remember you saying, well, what are you gonna close them on? Like, what are you gonna close them on? Because what the fuck are you gonna close them on? I said, well, we have some of these structures built out, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, if they can't afford to have something built for them, well, then maybe we can give them something that's already built for cheap, $1,000.
Now I screwed up on this too, because I let you keep half the money and you went out, and I never in a million years thought you could sell a Tony Robbins, a Grant Cardone, a Jordan Belfort, a funnel template. Antwan goes out, he's selling these things for $1,500. Downloaded them in their ClickFunnels account for him. And all of a sudden, he's calling me up like, I made 10 grand this week. And I'm like, what?
So Dakota says, listen, if you think so, then you keep half of whatever it is that you're going to sell. Just keep half. You're good. If you can sell that, then great. I get in there. I go through the whole spiel. I show them everything. And I say, well, we could do this for you. Oh, it's too expensive. I say, well, what if there's a way you can have exactly this, but the only thing you needed to do was go in, change the photos, and change the words that are on that you see to make it fit your business. You're already trying to figure this out. I could streamline this. I can save you a shit ton of time and money. It's going to cost you one time for $1,000. Is it worth it for $1,000 if you can absolutely make 10,000? Of course. So why don't you do this? And there was no reason for people not to.
No contract. Take a credit card on the phone call.
No
Close
contract.
the deal. I couldn't believe it.
So they said, well, how's it work? Well, you pay for it, and then I'm going to send you the link, and you're going to download it into your account.
Deliverable was 60 seconds.
60-second deliverable. Done.
Profit margin was 100%. We were selling thin air because we'd already built all these funnels. We already had them. They were assets. And then he would just sell them. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I should have been doing this for years. And then Antwan took it and standardized the Luxvoni business. Now, here's another thing you got to think about. All of you sales reps are working in companies. And you got a boss, you got a manager, you got a sales director, you got a VP of sales, whatever it is that you report to. And you got a product to sell. You got to hit numbers, you got to hit quotas and everything else. Antwan, we didn't really know what the KPIs were. So we defined them ourselves. So it was a different thing. But instead of settling for 10, 20, 30 grand a month, Antwan kept surprising me, prizing me, positioning himself, over-delivering, exceeding expectations. And then he started doing stuff on his own to where I would listen to him. He created products out of thin air, went to market, showed market demand, and then came back with money without any guidance whatsoever. So then literally he did that, and the entire company morphed to where now I don't do webinars anymore because they're too expensive. They take too long for me to do. And now we're making so much money from Lux, I don't have time to do them anymore. So now what we do is Antwan sells all the done-for-you funnels. He's got a whole sales team he managed, and they run that, and they fucking crush it. Yesterday, we did what, 18 grand?
Yep.
It's every day. They're just printing money. So he works on that end, and then I do what I do best, and I work on rev share deals. So somebody that's got an 8-figure-a-year company wants to take it from 9 million, 11 million, 15 million to 50 million. We got a track record of doing that. So then what we do there is we do a rev share model. We charge them $15,000, $25,000 out of the gates, invest all of that into their funnels, and then we bring in traffic partners. Dimitri, Big Life Marketing, Nick from Ajexa, former marketing director for Mr. Sam Ovens, Sean Balser from Ty Lopez, Chris Record. We assemble these people, and then we scale them through the roof. But see, I would have never been able to do these big deals that make crazy amounts of money. We take 10% of top line revenue. So like if you take somebody from 10 million to 20 million, do the math. Those are very lucrative deals. Antwan allowed me to do that. And on top of allowing me to do that, he created a $200,000, $300,000 a month revenue stream just selling funnels, which I would have never been able to do. So the moral of the story is get creative, because at the end of the day, businesses don't go bankrupt because the products are typically not good. They go bankrupt because they run out of money. Antwan constantly brought in the money, and I can tell you this, your boss, they want revenue. They want wins. Your C-suite wants to see wins. That's how you do it. This is how Antwan did it.
Hell yeah. So if you're a sales professional, and you could be anywhere in your career with it really, but I think that the defining factor that separates entrepreneurs and very, very, very high performing sales professionals is their ability to be creative and imaginative. So what you think is mundane to you may be revolutionary to someone else.
100%.
And that's the beautiful part of life. We all don't live the same life. You may have similar experiences, but my complete knowledge is different than Dakota's complete knowledge or someone else's complete knowledge. So when you start to build up your self-confidence within yourself to believe in yourself enough to know that you have what it takes knowledge-wise to fill gaps where you see voids, even if you don't know all of the information off the bat.
You didn't know any of it and still closed it.
Exactly. So, and if you look back to, going in and selling corporate deals, I didn't know how to do that. But guess what? I knew how to communicate the value of what I believed in. And again, the same thing. I understood and knew how to communicate the value of what I believed in with sales.
Yeah. And the other thing, you sold current desired situations. Like there's so many people, this pisses me off. And we talk about it all the time. You're not selling your product. Like you don't sell a drill, you sell a hole. You don't sell a mortgage, you sell a house. You don't sell silicone and fake breast, you sell the confidence the breast augmentation provides. So many people get stuck on that BS. You sell current desired, and you were able to take that and do that all the time. I've seen you close SEO retainers. You don't know the first thing about SEO. You watch me close legal retainers. 20 grand a month legal stuff. I'm not an attorney. I don't know anything about legal. I just tee it up, tell a story, explain how it worked, and boom. And I think for salespeople on this call, you know, talk about the path. Like you really want to make real money. Let's tell them about our lifestyles, because if you're not making $60,000 a month, 50, 40, 30, there's a problem. Your commissions are shit. You're capped. I mean, we've been able to do this for 3 years now. And I don't think either one of us have made ever less than $20,000, $30,000 a month. And we don't go anywhere. We don't do anything. We're doing it from the comfort of our house and our underwear half the time. And we wake up every single day and we're not prospecting. We're not chasing business. We've got a preloading mechanism, a funnel, which is exactly what we sell to other people on how we do that. And we wake up every day. It's a numbers game, good commission spread, great leadership. All of our salespeople, we set them up to live just the same way we are. We make the money, they make the money, everybody wins. And if you're in a position right now and you're not able to get to where you want to go, and you're looking for the freedom, you're looking for everything, you want to make money, you want to take care of your family, high ticket closing's where it's at.
Yeah.
We've done it in coursewares, we've done it in funnels, we've done it everywhere. And if you're looking to join a winning team, hit us up. We'll do the same thing that me and Antwan did. You can sit on our calls. You want to see the proof in the motherfucking pudding. We're not going to tell you we can make 100 grand a month. We'll show you we can close 100K a month, month after month after month after month. The proof's in the pudding. You take what we do. You go out on your own. We feed you with appointments and the game's over. That's how we've been able to scale. And that's how we've been able to work. But we do it because me and Antwan are salespeople at the end of the day. What deal would we want for ourselves? That's what we created for our people.
That's it. That was the first question that you asked me rhetorically when we were setting up everything a couple years back. You said, Ant, what would be the deal that we would want ourselves? What would be the deal that we would leave, that you would leave your family business for, that I would leave my retainers for? What would be that deal? And it's funny because as we started to expand and scale the sales team, this was a little bit pre hitting that kind of growth spurt. But pretty much what happened, and talk about, once again, creating a product from thin air. I'm going to tell you what I did. So after we got in with the sales team, we wanted to figure out some ways to diversify. We had brought on some clients, different people needed sales individuals. We wanted to figure out how we can kind of close the gap and do more in-house while, servicing some clients in some different ways to create new revenue streams. So I remember sitting there, and after you had asked me that question and we went kind of to the drawing books, we're like, all right, well, let's put this deal together for people and kind of offer this opportunity to people. Like at the end of the day, we have a super, super great product. We deliver it bar none, better than anybody else in the damn industry. We can pay out more than anybody else in the damn industry. And if someone was going to work with us, what are they going to get? They're going to get damn good sales training because we're two badass sales dudes. We're doing 6 figures a month. Anyone that comes in and that even shadows us is going to be shadowing 6-figure salespeople. We're going to show you how to close the deals. So I said, well, Dakota, I think we have a business opportunity on our hands and also like a course curriculum. Like that's and that was the inception of Sale Ops, the art of human hacking. And
that's where it started. Yeah.
That is where it started. So
and that was after we bought Cardone, we bought JB, we bought everybody's shit and tried to take their training and implement it into ours. And what we realized through that process is, I mean, I lived with Jordan, so I knew his curriculum and I had access to all of it for free. So it was so simple for us to use. But what me and you found was really simple. Everything was respun bullshit from Dale Carnegie to Zig Ziglar to Brian Tracy. It's a numbers game. Do the numbers. It's all subordinate, low status bullshit. And that's what me and Antwan got so sick of, because we're training our people with a different curriculum. We're not using that shit. We're using high-level frame control. We're stacking frames, high-level elicitation, high-level mind tricks. We're reading personality types, modes of thinking. We're combining modes of thinking to where we've got a visual piece to our presentation, we've got an auditorial piece to our presentation, and we're stacking the decks in our favor from a high-level psychology overview to win the deal every time. And then Antwan said, dude, let's create the course. Let's get it out there. And let's be honest with our people and train them the way that we want to. And I'm like, dude, this shit's going to take, I mean, it's taken me a year to build. And it did. It took, well, I mean, it 100% did. But here's the catch of it. Antwan had the idea to go out in the marketplace. And he said, fuck it. Build the marketing. Get everything dialed in. Create the offer. I'll go out and sell it. And we'll deliver the whole damn thing live. People will respect it because it's got Q&A and everything else into it.
Yep.
And then Antwan goes out and starts recruiting folks. And I see merchant account notifications on, like, I thought he was doing funnel specs. And I was like, here he goes again. He just sold a $3,000 funnel spec for double the price. And the entire time, he wasn't. He was selling people.
This is what happened. So for all the people that couldn't really fit this web class model that we were selling for 25, 30, 50 grand, I'm selling different funnel templates for anywhere between 1,000 and 3,500, depending on how long the structure, what structure it is, how it's going to be implemented, and etc. So we have a solution there for people that don't have a lot of money. So we're all still able to capitalize. Now, I said, all right, cool. And we started talking about a business opportunity. And I'm telling you, it was the first, we had talked about it on the phone. Like, dude, we could do this, we could do that. Look what we've already done. Look what we've already taught. That next week, I went in again into my Facebook friends list. And what I also did was I went in on Facebook groups. I went on to Tony Robbins' peers group. I went into Grant Cardone's growth. I went into all the influencers that I could think of. I asked to join their Facebook group. And then I went in the group and I looked at the members and I was looking through their profiles to see who was in sales. Now, clearly, you're following these entrepreneurs, you're in sales, you're trying to figure out how to sell shit. You're in sales, you're learning. So I craft a message. Say, hey, my name's Antwan, found your profile, really love what you do. I got this business opportunity. I work with a company that does some of the best work in the industry. If you're open to a conversation, let's talk. And I think that first week I was doing like 100 messages a day.
Rough.
And that was in combination of sending out just organic messages for the funnels and for the team. So I'll tell you this next story in a moment of how we got the team to increase our revenue by 3x with no ad spend. But before we get there, I'm out there, I'm reaching out to these people organically, people who I see that are in these groups that may need a sales funnel, and people who that may be able to, might want to sell for us.
Yeah.
So I get on the first call. I bring them through first call with a sales rep, someone who's interested in working with us. And just give me a second because I'm refreshing my brain on the pitch, but I got it now. So I bring them on and I showed them and brought them through the same demo that I would use for a client. Same demo.
Yep.
Bring them through the sales funnels, show them the funnels, bring them through the psychology, show them how they can grow their business with it. Same structure. Now I said, look, we do X amount a month. I can teach you how to do X amount a month without a shadow of a doubt. Is this something that you're interested in?
And you would show bank statements.
Oh, yeah.
Like you would show, here's how many calls I get. Here's how much cash I collect. Here's my commission. Here's this. And then you would show other sales reps. This person's making this. This person's making this. This person's making this. Do you want to make this?
Yep.
That was the pitch.
That was the pitch. And they said, yeah. So, okay. So what needs to be done? Well, in order for me to train you, well, what's going to happen? We're going to have a once a week live. We're going to have a once a week Q&A. You're going to be on all of my sales calls. I'm going to give you literature on what it is you're selling. I'm going to give you the structure on how to sell it. And I'm also going to give you a scripting to follow. And we have a community that you guys are going to be involved in. We had everybody on, I think it was like Slack or something. And the pitch was simple. What it's going to cost me is about $12,000 over the course of the year to train you, get you up to speed, give you all the resources that you need, and completely make sure that you're going to be successful under our wing. I can't go into that conversation with you. I can't go out of my pocket and into my pockets in faith of you if you don't have some type of skin in the game. So I'm willing to go into the game with you because I know I've seen you. We've talked. I like what you do. I like your style. I know you can be successful with this, and we're going to support you. But if you can't at least cover 10% of what it's going to cost me to carry you for the year, then I know that you're really not serious about this. This is really not something that you're going to be taking with you to the moon. You're going to drop it at some point. And guess what? Are you in or you out? You're in? Awesome. Let's get you going. What does that mean? I don't know. You do 10% of 12,000. It's 1,200. So now what happened? You're coming on board. You're getting all of this. And what did we do? Before we had everything structured out, we did exactly what I said. Bring you on, allow you to be on our calls.
It was all live.
The training, all live, all Q&A, completely tailored to you.
It was
small
real.
batches. And guess what? People are making money hand over fist and continue to do today. That was the basis and beginning of our training. I turned it into a revenue stream. I went after people. I went after the realtors, who weren't making money selling their houses. I went after people who were in these groups. I wasn't scared to go out there and ask and talk to people. Facebook cuts you at like 60 messages now. You got to wait till like the next day. So LinkedIn Sales Navigator helped us scale our business minimum by 2x.
We were doing, I think, organically after you structured that and then taught some of the other salespeople how to do it. I think LinkedIn was $150,000 to $200,000 a month in just sales funnel sales, and then sales training, I think, was another 50 to 100,000 a month there. But again, you taught everybody else how to do it, and you duplicated it like fucking 60 times to where we had like 60 people doing all this, and it got crazy. It was like, wow, commissions were nuts. It was a shit show, but
we have, oh man, we have people doing all kind of silly shit, but
it worked.
Now we know we don't need 100 motherfuckers. We need 10 soldiers. We got our 10 soldiers.
That's all we need, man. Yeah.
So, they're the 10 generals, if you really want to put it that way. These, we put a lot into these guys. And at the end of the day, most people aren't going to take it to the end. Most businesses, owners are done within the first 3 years, and it's likewise with the mentality of people who pick things up and just put it down because they want to chase the next shiny object syndrome.
It used to blow my mind because we would make so much money right in front of them. And then some of the people would miss the calls, and I used to lose it. And they'd message me.
You get pissed off.
I'm like, how do you not see? If Jordan Belfort, when I worked with Jordan, if Jordan Belfort said, Dakota, send these messages every motherfucking day, and when I close a deal, I'm going to pay you $6,000 in commissions, I would have done nothing but that for 3 years, took Jordan and became Jordan, which ideally is what I did, just in an evergreen webinar format, which is what I do. But it used to blow my mind. And then you did that, and then that gave me, you proved the concept for me. And then once you proved the concept, me and you went back, and I said, I want to see if this works in a corporate environment. Forget B2C. We can make money there, but the real money's in B2B. I want people paying per head, per rooftop. We're going to follow Grant Cardone's model, and we're going to put them to shame. Yep. And we started doing that in a consulting Vegas. So Safe Life Defense, I closed them on a funnel deal. We got a 90-day contract. Antwan's running the team. We got $300,000-$400,000 a month coming from Lux. And this body armor company, the guy that was behind me a minute ago, Andrew Sabatino, he's the former vice president of the company. So he brought me in for this deal. We do this funnel deal, and they're so chaotic and so screwed up from a leadership perspective. It's like putting out fires every day. You can't get a funnel done because nobody's got time to give you assets, time, or anything. So I'm in there and I'm like, well, this deal, this isn't going to be good because I can't get nobody to do anything. So then I said, you know what? Revenue is the only thing anybody cares about. I'm going to focus on this. So then Antwan was like, take sell ops and start training their salespeople on it and see what happens. And I said, all right, let's try this shit. So we go up in here, and this company is going from $9 million to $50 million in a single year. We're spending $150,000 a day on Google ads. I mean, it's explosive growth. 100 employees, shit's flying. It's chaos. And I get in there, and they got this guy named Gunner. Oh, Gunner Forbes. And he basically is like calling abandoned carts. So if somebody goes to the e-commerce site, they don't purchase, he calls them up. Hey, it's Gunner. I noticed you were having some technical issues with the website. He's doing like $1,500 a day. So then we put him through sell ops, and we start training him. We get his script right, his human hack and alchemy script. We take him through week 1. We get him through week 2, build the script based off the psychology learned in week 1. We start nailing objections and rebuttals, give him his perfect voice and tonality, take him through everything. And all of a sudden, his biggest problem was his own belief system that was limiting him for keep moving. We took him from $2,000 a day to $20,000 to $30,000 some days calling abandoned carts. He was getting corporate orders for sheriff's departments and shit. And I was like, what in the world? So then we did it with him. Then we hired Bobby. Bobby comes in, no body armor training, don't know the first thing about a gun. He comes in 10, 15K a day, calling 3A and upselling them to 3A plus, which is a type of armor. And then we start training the whole company on it. The sales team goes from $230,000 a month to $1.2 million in 130 days. And the only thing I did was train them on sell ops, do a morning meeting. They paid me $15,000 a month in a retainer to work half the day. They gave me a 2% override on the sales team. So I was making 36 grand a month working half the day. And then right then, me and Antwan got back together, and Antwan was like, boom. And then Sean Valser went through it. Once Sean went through it, from Ty Lopez, Sam Ovens, he represents all those guys. He said, bro, you were doing yourself a disservice. You're killing it in the corporate game. Bring it to the consumer game and watch what happens. And here we are now.
And shit is taking off. So if you're a sales professional and you want to know the psychology, you want to understand the inner workings, you want to really know how to put yourself and be a chameleon in the sales space, that is our life's work. We've built multiple six-figure businesses with it. I mean, shit, we've got
six-figure a month.
Yeah, six-figure a month. So that is the key. Understanding the psychology in the sales, understanding how to position yourself properly, understanding really how to be a better human in the grand scope of things, because sales isn't just when you're at work. Sales is life. When you're talking with your kids, your wife, your friends, your business partners, your communication, just in general, should be at a certain level, and you should really understand how to shift the gears through that communication vehicle. And if you don't, you're at a disadvantage in life, period.
And that's the truth. And the other piece is, I'm going to tell you, it took me years to understand this, and probably you too. Everybody thinks we got some type of golden boy syndrome. Everybody I know, you the luckiest motherfucker. I swear to God, you just wake up and print money. I am telling you right now, it is not luck. This is what happens when you develop high-level alchemy and psychology, because you can do so much. You're a better leader. You're a better manager. People want to inspire to be like you because you role model your way up to the top. You show proof in the pudding. And it makes life so easy. Like when I do anything, I'm closing. People laugh at me all the time and say, everywhere you go, you make a friend. You don't care if it's a FedEx guy. You don't care if it's a Starbucks guy. And like Kat, she's like, hey, don't talk too much because I don't want to be here all day. But you're the same way. You do the same damn thing. And that's what I want to stress. You want to be a high ticket closer. How can you influence and persuade something you don't understand from a scientific level? I'm not talking about theory and fluff, Zig Ziglar, Cardone. I'm not talking about BS. I'm talking about science, psychometrics, high-level mind tricks, neuroscience. That's what our life work has been. And over the last 2 years, Antwan's been running the show. It's allowed me to void off and focus on building the perfect curriculum. And we're finished with it now. So, we're starting to launch that. We've got that going, but Antwan's in it as well. Sean Valser's in it. Nick Fisher's in it. Dimitri's in it. Some of the biggest names in the game. But that's what I want to really express is if you're a sales professional right now and you making 40, 50 grand a month and you don't understand the psychology of human beings, you operating at 50% of your potential.
1,000,000%.
100%. Without a question of a doubt. Like you got another 50% in you. So, that's one thing I'd suggest to everybody is understand that, develop alchemy in it. Training is not something you've done. It's something you do every day.
If you're in sales and you can't at least name 4 of the 16 personality traits, then you got a big, big, big problem on your hands.
The majority of salespeople, they don't even understand what they are on a psychometric assessment. Dude, how many people have we brought on? Like, listen, if you own a company right now, and I get excited when we talk about this shit because it's blowing my mind. So if you're hiring salespeople right now, if you look at the psychometric assessments, the data tells us that top producers, 7-figure earners, have very particular personality temperaments and facets. All the low producers are introverted. They don't have the same facets so if you look at a Big 5 psychometric assessment, for an example, You're looking at Big Five, most commonly used by clinical psychologists. Myers-Briggs, I like, but it's not as accurate as a Big Five. That's just a fact. So if you look at a Big Five, openness, agreeableness, neuroticism, like you're looking at these personality facets, extroversion, everything's already been proven for you when you're hiring people. Like, it's that simple. If you score low in extroversion, you're not going to be a top producer. If you score too high in openness, you're not going to be a top producer. If you score too high in agreeableness, you're not going to be a top producer because you can't overcome objections. If you score too high in neuroticism, you have anxiety, you have depression, you're constantly second downing yourself. How in the hell can you wake up every single day with confidence and generate money on demand in the uncertainty of the world unless you score low in neuroticism?
All right.
This is the stuff that nobody talks about, man. And me and you've been doing it for years. So that's what I'm excited about, to get this to the world, to show them how we've been able to change our lives dramatically. Your story, going from making $300-400 a week.
Yeah. $475 after taxes. Whole week.
To $50,000 a month in net money in commissions. You got a BMW 8 Series. You got a brand new house. Like, would you have ever thought that you'd be able to do this chilling from the comfort of your house, selling a product that actually does what we say it do?
I'm going to tell you this much. Coming from the foundation of, if you don't wake up early, you're not making money. If you ain't out the house, you ain't making money. If you ain't breaking your back, busting your balls, you ain't making money. I ain't waking up early. I ain't leaving my house, and I ain't breaking my balls. So if you were to tell me that this was possible, I wouldn't have believed you. I wouldn't have believed you. And if I wasn't able to mentally adapt new forms of thinking and be open and also caring to myself,
Right.
Because I'll tell you what, you're a sales professional out there, you're in a hard-nosed environment like I'm used to, ain't nobody going to care about you but you. You have to care about yourself enough to know that there's more, to know that the grass is greener wherever the hell I decide to water it. And I'm the MFer with the damn water jug. So it's going to be green where I say it's going to be green. And if you can care about yourself enough to continually put yourself in growth situations, which is often uncomfortable, if you can continually be uncomfortable and be comfortable with being uncomfortable, you're in a good spot. You will be successful. You will figure it out. And so I think that at the end of the day, having that openness and caringness, empathy, being open, being empathetic, and learning to overcome my self-limiting beliefs, because believe me when I tell you, I had a lot.
And I think majority of us do.
Hell yeah. Most people do. And really the only way to overcome them is to care about yourself, to have belief in yourself enough to go and face your fears. Because after you face your fears, natural progression will take over from there, because you faced your fear, you overcame it, you added a block of confidence in your life. And guess what? Blocks of confidence are built over multiple different sections of your life. It's not just one. So it's not just because you're the best at, picking up chapstick, you're going to feel the most confident in life. You'll be more confident in life when you're more competent about the things that happen in life.
And the only way to do that is what nobody wants to talk about. Struggle, sacrifice, pain, pressure, all of that. Like when you look at a human being and you put yourself under loads of stress, new pathological cells, new DNA, new strands are generated through that. And a lot of people on this You don't know what your full potential is because you've never pressed yourself to the point to evolve into something that you're not today. So you've got to do that. Like Antwan sees it because Antwan works the same way. But we've been doing 12-hour days for 3 years. I haven't taken a vacation in 3 years, and shit, I make enough money where I don't have to work. Antwan does as well.
I ain't gonna say I ain't taking vacation. I tried to steal his ass a couple times. I can't get
I
it.
don't show up. I missed his damn wedding. That was the worst thing I could have done. But I have a process and a routine, and I have to stick to that. So the main thing is do those things, but also understand it ain't supposed to be easy. It never will be, never has been. It's not supposed to. You got to grind, and the more sacrifice that whoever sacrifices the most in this game wins the game. Nobody's going to out-sacrifice me because I have no family other than Antwan and my team and Kat and everybody else. I don't have all those distractions. I have my family right here. Second piece, I don't have any other passions. I don't need to be 50% good in 5 things. I want to be 300% good in 1 thing. So I get rid of everything else and I'm laser focused. And if you can do the same, get good in 1 domain. But I'm going to tell you something. In order to do that, you got to keep learning, man. You're never a master of this game. And that's the problem that I have with salespeople. They poke their chest out and say, oh, I make 20 grand a month. Motherfucker, I've made $1 million a month. I'm not talking about in gross. We're talking about real money. So remember, there's levels to this game. And if you want to become the best of the best, leave your ego aside because this ain't your mama's world. This is a world that don't care about your emotions. So just continue to learn and be like that. I don't think I'm the best in sales. I think we have one of the best products. And I think we can make dramatic impact in somebody's life. But do I think I'm the best salesperson in the world? No, because the only way to go is down. I want to be chasing something.
Yep, 1,000%. And like what Matthew McConaughey said, who's the person you look up to the most? Like me in 5 years. And in 5 years, it'll be me in 5 years again. Because I hope I never reach the destination that I set for myself.
That's the best way to run.
If you can understand that, then you're in a good position already, mentally.
Right.
Because the life happens in the process. And when you're there, you're there. It's over.
Yeah. You gotta have something to chase.
I don't ever want it to be over.
I think people with depression, dude, that have issues like, we know some people that are just unhappy, right?
Yeah.
And I look at them and I try to think about you're traveling, you're having fun, you're doing your thing, you're enjoying yourself, and you're still unhappy. And what blows my mind is if you're unhappy without it, you're going to be unhappy with it. Happiness is perception that creates a reality. It's all subjective. So like us, we're happy doing what we do. But I think happiness comes from progression. And a lot of salespeople on this call, they may be in positions when there's no progress. They're not seeing something increase. It's the same old bullshit every single day. Yeah. And that's a killer, man. It can destroy you.
For sure. Which is, with our guys, we always have things that are going to be able to progress them up the ladder, which is why in your businesses, you want to build things so that people aren't just doing transactional, stagnant business with you. Even if it's within your own ranks in your business, you want to make sure that people have something to attain and to continue to attain to. So when the chase is over, when the lion catches the buffalo, he ain't gonna do nothing but just sit there and eat. So if you're a business owner, we got to constantly be on the kill. We can't afford to just sit there and eat. So it doesn't work like how nature works. You don't sit there and then eat and then you're good for a week and then you got to go figure out how to kill again and eat and be good for a week. That's how salespeople fail.
I agree.
So you got to constantly, as soon as that kill's done, you're on to the next. You're back chasing. And now that doesn't have to be an exhaustive, emotional, mental battle. No. The business should have the right pieces in the front end of the business set up so that their salespeople aren't exhausting themselves with a chase,
Yes.
but simply being able to take down and lay down and bring that deal to fruition. So it doesn't, for the salespeople, you shouldn't be feeling like you're chasing every day. What you should be feeling like you're doing is analyzing the actual chase. Okay, the chase is happening, but how is it happening? You're not running. You should be mentally guiding your vehicle and understanding the pertinent pieces of how to converse psychologically with the other person to move them also where you want them. So it's a nice song and a dance, and at the end, everybody's happy. And if you can continually dance and dance and dance, you're going to have a really, really good dance studio when you go and look back at all the people that you were able to help dance. So at the end of the day, do that, right?
That's the key to it. And the other thing, there's so many companies. Everybody asks us, how do you build a top producing sales team? How do you structure it? How do you make it work? We've tried everything. We've gone through enough iterations. We've spent the money so you wouldn't have to. Let me give you some damn tips. First thing, have a sales strategy on paper. You can't build a house without the proper foundation. If it's not on paper, it's going to get out of whack. Second thing, set people up in positions based off their personality facets so they can be fulfilled. Your turnover is not through the roof and your churn's not high. So put all of your salespeople through psychometric assessments. If you need help understanding how to recruit, retain, and manage and scale talent, we can help you there. But that's the second piece. Put them through psychometric assessments and make sure you're putting people in the right place. Third thing, a closer is not an SDR. They're not a lead gen team. Lead gen teams are introverts. They're not salespeople. So a lead gen team, if you're following the assembly line of sales structures, which is the most effective, it's used by every Fortune 500 company. All SaaS products follow it. If you're following the assembly line model, you got a lead gen team, you got an SDR, you got a closer, and you got a customer service side. What does each one do? Lead gen is generating leads, generating appointments for an SDR, a service development rep, to qualify. A closer comes in, takes the second appointment, and closes the deal, and the customer success increases LTV. They're all different personality facets. You can't have a closer doing lead gen. You're spreading them too thin. You can't have an SDR doing closers. Their personality temperaments aren't right. They're not assertive enough, and they're not aggressive enough to get the deal done. And then a closer, you put me and old Antwan on customer success, we're done.
We're done.
We don't work that way. We're not churn. We're too assertive. We focus on deals, hits, scaling them. We're the front end. We have to close that. So that's my biggest piece of advice is listen, structure your organization right and quit spreading your people so thin. And if you're a salesperson and you find yourself spread thin, you don't have KPIs, you don't have clear guidance, you don't have clear management, and you're operating out of chaos every day, you need to find a new deal, man, because we don't operate out of chaos. It's order every single day. It's smooth selling. And we're making a lot more money than the guys that are operating out of chaos. That's the next piece. So that's what I got.
Well, yeah, that is the truth, man. So your mental health matters. Your systems matter. Your understanding of high-level tactics matter. And at the end of the day, you want to be a salesperson that's going to make buku dollars. You need to invest in yourself and get comfortable learning new things every day, because there's not a day that goes by that I don't read a new article, there's so many different forms of education these days. You don't need to graduate college with a business master's degree or a education in finance, marketing, or whatever the hell else you want to call it. What you need to do is find what you like to do. And if you're watching this, it's probably sales. Find the right vehicle that's going to be able to get you to the heights that you want to go. Because I'm sorry to tell you, guess what? If your boss is driving a Toyota Corolla, you ain't driving much more. So find the right vehicle that's going to get you to where you want to go and be able to make the money that you want to make. And then importantly, invest in yourself and your own personal education, taking the time to make sure you're getting yourself in those rooms, ear hustling where you can, looking up those topics on YouTube, studying them from people who've done it, finding mentors, finding people who have been successful in the things that you want to do, and model what they're doing, period.
And take a percentage of your income like you did and reinvest it back into yourself if you're not making $1 million a year, you got no money. So quit worrying about investments and Bitcoin and crypto. The best investment is in yourself. Antwan, he'll take a $55,000 month and he'll cut it and spend 5 to 10 grand on it on education every single month. He'll go through everybody's shit because he just wants to see what's going on. He's addicted to learning. You give me 300 motherfuckers like that will commit to training every single day and that will actually do what we tell them to do. We do $10 million a month. It's finding those folks that are willing to reinvest in themselves. That's the problem today.
We might have to bring some of the guys from the sales team on, give some of their testimonials. Because, I mean, when you follow the process and
you got them all right here. Go over to, I don't know, if you want to check out our new book, you can check this out. Me and Antwan wrote this bad boy out. We'll go to SellOps first. So you go to sellops.com and you can just browse through here, all these different sales reps. So you scroll down here, here's the site, and you can just look. Here's the numbers. This is the president of Safe Life Defense, vice president. This is Antwan. This is Craig Bond, introvert, no ability to sell, making $5,000 a month selling SEO services. Me and Antwan work with him. We put him in SellOps. We coach him. He goes from $5K a month to $230,000 in sales in 11 months. We sold an SEO deal for him at Safe Life that was $36,000 a month. Now, if he would have never been in our entourage when Safe Life needed SEO, I would have never thought of Craig. But by paying me, by getting in the door, by following our curriculum, as soon as they needed an SEO person, boom, I got the best in the game. His deal was more than my deal. Crazy. You got Bobby here. You got Steven. You got Brady. You got Dean, the senior copywriter at ClickFunnels. You got all these people. So the proof's in the pudding, man. And we got all the guys. We got all the curriculum. We got all the training. And here's the other trick. We're taking all these salespeople. We're certifying them in SellOps. Once we get done certifying them with SellOps, guess what we're doing? All of our big top tier client at Luxvoni, rev share deals, $50 million, $100 million a year companies. We got a lot of them. Guess what? We build them a phone call funnel. We get their Google search right. We get their ads dialed in. We get them ranking on the #1 of Google. We get their Facebook ads. We get them optimized. Guess what the next thing they need? They need salespeople. So we take all of our students, we certify them, and then when we get somebody like the $50 million, the big deal we just did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
They're going to need 15 to 20 salespeople.
Yep.
I got them. So then what do? I negotiate on their behalf. I get them the base pays they deserve. I set them up to make $500 to $1 million a year through the deals because I control the marketing. I control the relationship. And now all of a sudden, we got this big staffing agency.
And there you go. And now everything works in a cyclical pattern, and it's all money in and no money out. And that's what you want to build for your life and for the people that are around you. Because it doesn't happen alone. A lot of the times it can. But guess what? You're going to meet different people that are going to fulfill different things for you in your life. And you got to be open to that. And you got to be open to the growth. You got to be open to the learning lessons that are going to come with growing the business, come with growing yourself. You're going to drop balls. You're going to stub toes. You're going to bleed a little bit. You're going to have some scrapes and bruises. But at the end of the day, you'll emerge a very polished individual and you'll have a very successful business as long as you're open to the things that we're talking about in this conversation here today. And I hope that my story, understanding, I'm not a phantom. I'm a regular person like you are that has been able to put myself in the right positions to be successful. And I've been open and willing to learn the necessary things needed in order to close the gaps where I wasn't able to fill them. And that's it. So if you can take me there,
You're
you got
a learning
2
machine.
minutes to do it. Say again.
You're a learning machine.
Learning machine, brother. A learning machine. So be a learning machine. Don't be scared to take on new avenues and to do shit that no one's done before. Because at the end of the day, let's just be real. If I were to come in here and there were other people that came in through the door before me, I wasn't the first one to come in through the door and look to do something together with you. But I'm the one that was willing to go against the grain and to take ideas and bring those ideas through fruition without asking for permission. Now, I'm not saying you go and stepping over people's toes. You don't do that. You do it the right way. You have a conversation, you put it out there, you ask lightly, you get the half okay. Go out there and make something of it. Go out there and do the work and bring home the bread. No one's going to believe the story if it wasn't on video and you didn't sell the deal unless you got the money.
Yep.
Period. So
and
go out.
And that's how you get to the top. You own half of Luxvoni now.
We are partners 50-50. It is our business. We have taken this thing to the moon. And guess what? We ain't stopping there. And it ain't the only business. Why? Because we're intelligent. We believe in ourselves. We know what we have to bring to the marketplace. We've perfected it. We've proven it. And guess what? We've helped other people do it. And it's duplicatable. And we're not golden boy syndromes, yet we're 2 of the baddest closers that I personally know. I know we've been in rooms with some of the best closers that exist on the planet, and they told us that we're some badass MFers. But at the end of the
guys
day,
that are closing you guys on sales training, we closed them already. We closed I mean, it is what it is. I ain't trying to stroke nobody's ego here, but the facts are in the pudding. And here's what we can do. Here's what we can do. Literally, you want to see some of this stuff in motion? Reach out. Antwan at luxvonimarketing.com. In the description of this video, his email will be there. You want a free trial. You want to get into psychology secrets and see what it's about. And you want to go through call recordings of, I don't know, probably $15, $20 million in deals that we've closed over the last 3 years. You can have the call recordings. We'll give it all to you. Go through, get it, learn it, do it, invest in yourself. And then maybe there's a time where we can have a similar story to where I'm interviewing you, Antwan's interviewing you, and you're a partner in the company too. Because Antwan did it, I've done it, you can do it. There's no fucking excuses. It's you against you.
1,000%. So, and especially with the way that, we scale our agency, there's always room for someone who's got the freaking cojones to bring it to fruition. So if you've got that, definitely shoot me an email. I want to talk to you, and I'll be happy to have a little conversation. We'll jump on a little Zoom, and we'll talk about what you're looking to do in your life, and if there's some way that we have some overlap, we can absolutely take it from there on the call and see how we can help you. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, if I don't leave you in a better mental situation state with some damn resources to make yourself better, then I won't even have a call with you. So
100%.
I know for a fact you'll be in a better situation than before you talk to me. And I'm definitely known for giving out a lot of nuggets, and I get yelled at all the time. Antwan, man, you could have charged for that, but you know what? I didn't, and I like that guy. So
He's a champ at that. But it always tenfolds, man. It always comes back.
It always comes back. So you just got to pick and choose the right people to invest into. And then they'll always invest in you back. I'm a very good judge of character. That I am. I'm a very empathetic person. I am strong in those leadership points. So come see me. We'll help you out. We'll figure out something for you. I like this thing, man. I like doing this interview thing and bringing everything to light. You know, it's good.
It's been fun, dude.
Story, man. How these things come up, and people want to know too. Shoot, and you know, we can't keep all the secrets hidden.
We do it in Cell Ops, and it's just for so many years we've done all of our content privately to paying subscribers or courseware students. So this new YouTube channel push is great. iOS 14 came out. Of course, we shifted, and now all of our marketing spend is, you know, of course, going towards something that I wish we would have done a long time ago. Bada bing, bada boom. First one on Google. Type in any keyword that says sales funnels, and you'll see our name there. So we've never made this type of profit before. We've never been able to generate this type of ROAS before. And, you know, with iOS 14, we've shifted. Now we're all in YouTube, Google search, and everything else. But one thing that me and Antwan can promise you this year, we're going super bullish in YouTube. So all the content that we typically charge for, I'm done with it. I'm going to give it all for free. And that's the way that we're going to do it. And then, of course, our higher ticket stuff where it's one-on-one and like Psychology Secrets and Cell Ops, for example, we got to charge something for that. We've done it for free. What happens? They don't go through it. They don't complete it. They don't finish it. I'm not going backwards. You got to have skin in the game.
That's the number one thing. People don't appreciate what they don't pay for. And that's the truth. I don't care. I don't care what you're selling. I don't care what you're doing. If people aren't paying for it and you're giving it away for free, I understand the lead gen mechanisms, all that. But you got something really valuable that's going to change someone's life, and you're giving it to them for free. You're doing that disservice because they're not going to go through it. They're not going to read it. They don't understand the value of what you're really giving to them. And guess what? If you really want them to change their life, you have to make them commit to it. And the only way people are going to commit is with a dollar value. And if you're scared of charging somebody for what you're worth, understand this. The amount of time that it's taking you out of your life to perfect whatever system it is that you have, whatever product you have, whatever service that you deliver, the time that it's taking you to do that, people are only simply giving you back in return the energy that you put in there. And the only way they can give you any energy back from a product or service that you're delivering them, that you put your hard-earned life energy into, is through the form of a currency. And why? Because that other person has had to put their own life force energy into something to earn that currency. And it is simply an exchange of energy and value for that energy. So 100%. Don't look at it as a price tag. It's not the $10,000 for the product. It's the life's work that went into making that product a successful product for you to purchase for only $10,000, because I can't get an hour back that I spent into developing that. I'll never get that back, and no amount of money in the world is ever going to get that back for me.
And that's the other problem. If you don't charge what you're worth, how are you going to market it? How are you going to reach people? You can't. Like, you've got to charge what you're worth so you can reach more market, get to more people. So that's another key. Well, Antwan, I got another call. I got another call in 3 minutes. This was the best one that we've done yet. I hope you guys got a shitload of value from this. Make sure you hit up Mr. Webb. If you're looking for somebody to help you, you're looking to get to the next level, hit him up, join our team. We'll get you spun up and show you what it's like to make some real money.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Mr. Burford. I appreciate you. Today's call. Hope you all got a lot of value from this. I know you guys did. And go check our channel. Just like, subscribe, and freaking do all that happy stuff that they tell you to do.
Bada bang. Andrew, what you got to say about today's interview?
I didn't hear much of it, but it sounded pretty good. Antwan always brings the fucking heat.
There you go.
There
All
it
right.
is.
Be great, brother. I'm going to jump on this call, close this deal, and I'll record it. So if you guys contact Antwan and want to see me collect 50 grand, it'll be in the call recordings.
Coming up next.
Peace. Bye.